Cool. Well,
Okay.
anyway, we're going now. So maybe it'd be good to start off with, can you introduce yourself?
All right. I'm Dr. Julia James. So I got my PhD back in 2007 in Ukraine in agriculture branch. So, and always like to read about space, this and that, but my like a start day, yes, it's starting when I met a cosmonaut Alexei Ovchinin. So, and when he told me about all this training, cosmonaut training school, and that he's going to space and this and that, I was so excited. And my daughter Valentina, she's also, I saw how in her eyes born the stars, and she's tried to learn about, study about, and motivate herself to be astronaut in future. And I'm like a mom, not every teenager girl want to be astronaut and go to the moon or Mars or whatever. So I'm like a mom of this daughter. I try to be in shape. So when I met people, astronauts, cosmonauts, or when I find some conference, I take Valentina with me. So that's how we in this process already last 7 years, 8 years, yes.
Yeah, and you were talking about how y'all have done a lot of things to get physically and mentally prepared, the scuba diving and the hiking and the zero-G flight. Could you talk a little bit more about like some of the things you did and what your observation is in terms of how it might get one ready for such adventures?
Right. So we did research with my daughter, what kind of training astronauts and cosmonauts doing before space, before launch. And one of them, it's diving, just diving. They need to be in good divers, when you jump in from a high level to the water. So we done this with my daughter. She was training. And then scuba diving. So we done this, and our scuba diving was with dolphins. It's a double challenge. And we done this in Ukraine. And hiking in the mountains. So we hiking in the Carpathy Mountains, and we hiking in it's a very old, it's a place where they founded old civilization, Scythia. Scythy, it's a type of people who lived back 2,000 years before Jesus Christ.
Mm.
So, and we go to camp in that place. It's a very spiritual place. So, and we stay at night when it's at 0 Celsius at night. So it was like a surviving during cold, because astronauts and cosmonauts, they can land in everywhere, and in the desert, and during winter time and during summertime. And if it's nobody funded them yet, they need to survive at least 3-5 days without water and food. So that's what we done with my daughter. Well, we have a little food and water, but still I try to introduce to this, to surviving in any weather shape, any condition. So same we did with zero gravity. When I met you and Erin, so such amazing people who is, I would say, crazy about space. I would say that. And you always meet awesome people when you do some type of activities. When we done scuba diving for dolphins, we met that instructor. His name Kurechkin. He is he's like archaeologist diving. diver.
Oh, wow. Like shipwrecks and that type of thing.
Yeah, when he's dive underwater, he's finding some kind of antique stuff, maybe 1,000 years old. So always interesting to meet some type of people.
Yeah, indeed. Well, you mentioned that we're sort of crazy about space, and I've been interviewing mainly everyday people is like what my goal was. The person at the coffee shop and at the airport and on the streets and that type of thing, asking them, did you know we're going back to the moon and what do you think about it and stuff like that? Would you believe that most people don't know we're planning to go back to the moon?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, we're planning to go to 2024, but I'm um, I'm pretty sure it might be later than that. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of go on. It's politics first. We have this crazy election day in front, and that is a lot of issues. So, and we need to pray, and be optimistic and positive about that. But someday we will go, absolutely. Maybe not 2024, maybe 25 or 26, soon. It's happened soon. If we done back in 1969, come on, we can do it now with all these technologies. We can do faster, and everything right now, automatic, electronic. So we can do it. And I just went conference in Ukraine. It's in city Dnieper. They have constructed bureau. It's a factory where they create rockets and vehicles and a part to the rockets. So they actually have a strong connection with Firefly. Firefly in
In
Austin?
Austin?
Yes. You know that's 50% American, 50 Ukrainian. You know this, right?
I knew it was like
Mhm.
Firefly Aerospace. Tom McCusick had started it, and then they ran into some financial problems, and he like filed bankruptcy. And I thought it was like a Russian person that had come
No,
in.
Maxim is Ukrainian. It's very important, not Russian, but Ukrainian. And of course, a lot of awesome people in Russia. I don't want make a point of this, okay? But yeah, Maxim Polyakov. He's Ukrainian. Yes,
Yeah, and now I think they're getting ready to do their very first orbital launch.
absolutely. Yes. Yes, and that's amazing. I keep tracking, uh, and I can see that what kind of rockets they do and how they clean job. It's like jewelry. They like creative jewelry. They have a gloves, and of course it's a secret place because a lot of other company want to steal information. So you're not allowed to go inside and look what they're doing.
But it is really amazing. I mean, used to like in 1969, when we first went to the moon, the only people that were able to get anybody into space or anything into space was the Soviet Union and the United States, and
Yes.
only their governmental programs. But now, I mean, you have Firefly, which is close, but you have Rocket Lab from New Zealand that's actually done it, and then you have SpaceX, and then Blue Origin looks like they might be close, and then you have all these, commercial lunar payload services company like Astrobotic and Intuitive Machines that are sending probes to the moon next year. Which I got to tell you, did you know that Astrobotic is doing this promotion of DHL where you can send something to the moon on their probe next year?
I heard about this. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. All right.
Yes.
I sent to space my stuff too.
Oh, really?
The
Tell me.
my necklace with Alexei Chinin, he did it for me for our friendship. So I sent it my necklace and he took it, and it was 6 months in the space. So,
That
and
is
it's
awesome.
a big deal for me. Yeah, big deal for me, of course. It is awesome. Yes. And so also I want to talk about Moon Village projects. And you know that a lot of country, they right now they do like architecture engineer design what kind of moon village used to be in a moon, and Ukraine is one of them. So, and it's amazing how everything set up. So it's not just, you know, it's building moon village. It's just half problem. Another problem, it's take it always equipment to the moon. And rockets like from Ukraine, they can do it. So that's why I'm so proud that I'm Ukrainian, and it's a lot of awesome engineer from there and doing this stuff. So tell me, do you plan to go? Do you assign your name, go to the moon or Mars, or your boys, your sons?
Well, I mean, I hope to retire on the moon. This is what I'm wanting my view from my house to be.
Let's do it. Yes.
Absolutely. And I wanted to say, you know, like this astrobotic a moon box, you could send something like the size of this, let's see, this SD card, micro
Yeah.
SD card, for like $460. So I'm planning to do that with all these recordings that I have until the middle of November. So not only will you have a necklace from space, but your recording will be on the moon.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's, you know, when we do this, we already attached for the moon or to the space. You know, we already attached for this. It's like, you know, some little connection, real connection. And this is a little connection can bring us to the space or to the moon or Mars.
Yeah, it'd be so neat to think, you know, somebody in the future might be on like a Boy Scout trip on the moon or what have you, or just hiking around, and they find the astrobotic Peregrine moon lander, and they then find the little micro SD card, and they put in their little reader, and then they're like, wow, and this is like several, you know, hundreds of years in the future. Yeah.
Yes, and for example, 20 years ago, we didn't have cell phones. You know, it was cables. And so and it was amazing for us. If somebody tell me like 20 years ago that I will speak like this without always, you know, cables, and it's just amazing. I would not believe it.
I know 20 years ago, you sign up for phone service, they say, who's your long distance provider? Now they don't even ask you that.
Right, that's correct. Now we received phone calls from the space. Like Alexei Yevchenin, he's called me another day when he was in space, and I just, wow! I felt so special that time.
That is really awesome. What did y'all talk about?
Yes, I passed through a difficult time. I was a volunteer. I helped to one family to fight in a lawsuit here in US when one American doctor, he stolen Social Security money from his son, disabled son, and he sent his son to Ukraine to grandparents' house, and he never sent any penny to them. So I fighting for this family in the courts, and of course it was so hard to do it. So finally I did it. They Social Security arrest this doctor, plastic surgeon from New Jersey.
Mm.
And I fight 5 years for this, and then I did not receive any thank you from this family, from Ukraine family. They didn't appreciate, and I was very disappointed. They even blocked me by Skype. Cannot call
Wow.
them. So, and I don't know, this type of people, they became a rich. So I won a court, and it was around $1 million. So, and this $1 million go to that family. And I didn't charge any penny for this. So, and when is maybe time to say thank you to me, they just blocked me. So whatever, I'm not a greedy person. I just don't like when some people use me and don't even say thank you. It's hard. It can be hard for everyone. So anyway, I lay down, very sick, emotional in my bed, and just cannot move, cannot believe for this. And then I receive a phone call. Yulia, привет! And it was Alexei from the space. And I said, oh my God. So we're talking around 1 hour. A lot of stuff to say. And I just, that give me a lot of energy. And it give me, it's I up myself, you know? I want to fly, I want to jump, I want, jump parachute, I want to do all this stuff. And it's just great motivation for me to live in this earth. And I love earth. I'm so worried about this earth, what is going on around, all this plastics, recycle, all this wars and this and that. And I went fighting to do right things, to do better to the earth. When people who want to go to the moon, they love earth a lot. And when you're in space, I ask every time, every astronaut, every cosmonaut, what they feel in the space, how our earth beautiful. And they told me it's more beautiful than on the pictures. It's amazing. This only one planet in our solar system, life planet, and it's our earth. And when they come back from the space, they want to do stuff better. They want to change our earth, our maybe human minds, because most of the human, they think about money, making money, and they don't care about ecology, about it, how our children became sick because synthetic food, there's not clean air around, and this and that. So, and most of astronauts, they go into politics like Scott Kelly and his brother Mark Kelly. And so they, like Terry Wirtz, he wrote a book, and his amazing, another book, View from Above, this one.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And it's amazing pictures of our beautiful earth. And I just, yeah, he signed it for me too. And when I'm reading and look at these pictures, it's just amazing, amazing. And I love our earth even more than before, and try to do something. Try to find out how we can recycle plastic in Ukraine, because it's a big problem right there too. And communicate with people who create some stuff like paper. They do not from trees, but from leaves, or from plastic from cactus, or do recycle plastic roads. Yeah. So, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
agree with me?
100%. It's I mean, I think our future could be so much better than anything we've seen before. Like for example, water recycling. Right now, the water you get from your house has traveled so many hundreds of miles to get there, and then after you use it, it travels hundreds of miles away. But a lot of things in our house, we could recycle the water like locally. Like for example, washing dishes or washing clothes, for example. It should be possible to create systems that are able to take out the impurities quickly from that water and allow for you to reuse it, so you don't have to
That's
continuously.
my very good friend, Dr. Richard Navarra. He just created some system with the gut energy from the water. You don't have to do it's whatever. I'm not that engineer to explain, but that's amazing. It's a low cost electricity from that water, low cost. And right now he's trying to find it investors for his project, and he's here from the Texas.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's the world has a lot of awesome people, and project like you have right now, interview, you put all these people together. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I need to figure out ways to connect them with each other and to kind of develop some synergies. But it's been an extremely good learning experience for me, just hearing people's thoughts and views and kind of like how they see the world. But not everybody. There's a lot of people that think that spending money on space is, you know, uh, money misspent, and that we should be spending that money more directly to address issues here on Earth, like climate change and poverty and things like this. And like what when talking to these people,
I,
how do you kind of make it relevant for them?
that's that's a that's a good point. When you do to the government space project, that's 10 times more expensive. But when you do like a private company like Elon Musk, it's a less expensive. And for example, Ukrainian rockets, they're less expensive, but they world market, not let the Ukrainian rockets go on a market, because they know that everybody will like Ukrainian, they will buy it, and Ukraine has a big problem with that. So so we need to concentrate on our private companies like Firefly, SpaceX. And that way we can save a lot of money, a lot, because not a lot of bureaucracy. It's more expensive, and it's slowly.
There is that representative, used to be Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. Um, he has been talking about, instead of NASA going to the moon, maybe the government should have some type of prize that, like several $billion that would be won by some private group that does it. And then, you have like these several private groups like competing and bring in an outside investment to try to make it there. And then the government only pays for the winner and not all the effort along the way. I was wondering what you thought about that idea.
50-50. Depend from what kind of size to look at all this. 50-50. I would not say he's 100% right, and I would not say he's 100% wrong. 50-50. And like I tell you, we, of course, when government spends money for the space projects, always somebody will fight with this, always. And I really wish that Earth has more intelligent, hardworking, and more motivated people than we have right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in 1969 when we went to the moon, the population was half of what it was now,
Yes.
and they didn't have computers in every home. They weren't connected to the internet. If you didn't know something, your best option was, does somebody around you know something? And then if that didn't work,
Radio.
does the library have a book on it?
Yeah.
Now you can literally learn anything
Yeah.
online. Like, if you
Yeah.
want to know how to do water recycling, just go to YouTube, type in water recycling, and you could become an expert on it.
You can do surgery to online.
Yeah, you do surgery or learn how to give haircuts. I was giving my son a haircut yesterday, and the first thing I went to do was YouTube and how to give haircuts. Of course, I think even though it was a lot of fun, I think it might be a long time before that becomes a good enough skill that other people will be asking me for haircuts. But
Yes.
um,
So
but
yes, it's available information for everyone, and unfortunately, not every time truthful information. Not every time, even most of the time, not truthful. And people who's I hate to say not smart, I hate to say, let's say less educated people, or let's say people who never learn about this, and when they receive some kind of information, they agree, they say, oh yes, he's right, and or not right, whatever. So that's like I tell in the beginning, I really wish that our earth has more motivate, more intelligent, and more hardworking people, like
It,
who reading a lot, who analyze situation. Like I have one good friend in Ukraine, Dmitry Tarayan. He's an engineer, and he's just great historic. And he's reading all this history from Rome and Napoleon and all this French war, and he do like analyze situation and compare what is going right now.
and what's his analysis? Where is it going?
Not optimistic.
Hmm.
Not optimistic. No, he's because pretty often people who is on a roll on a, let me see, like car wheel, yes, who is on a politics, then not, they don't care about own people in the country. So this is unfortunately. So, but I like to listen him, how he is. He also made special methodic for the tale and fairy tales for the children. So, and all fairy tales, they true history, but he made this easy to absorb information for the children.
Hmm.
He's raising 3 children by himself, 3 sons, 3 boys, and every night they lay down, and he's recording his fairy tales. He telling about Napoleon or Alexander Makedonsky. So, and these boys, they very interested about this and that, and this way they absorbing this very valuable historic information.
Hmm.
So, and same I do about space with my children. So I really need to show you what kind of playroom we have.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a maps, it's a planets, it's so let me see if I have and like here we visit with Valentina NASA conference, and like Jerry Ross, he signed his book Spacewalker, see?
Oh, wow.
So we reading that, and this is a Kevin Ford, our friend. He sent this. Here's a picture. So, and this one is a airplane. Looks like On-2. Let me see. See? And did you see this bear? Valentina took this bear to the zero gravity.
Oh, yes, I remember that actually.
You remember that?
Yeah,
So
vaguely. I wouldn't have remembered it if I didn't see the bear just now, but I do remember seeing that.
yeah, this is picture that Terry Bird signed, and his spacewalk right here, and Alexei Ovchinin right here.
Hmm.
He's
Now, he had quite a unique experience with, like, I believe the first aborted
yeah.
Soyuz flight.
Oh yeah, did you remember that explosion?
Yes, yes.
Uh, and October 15, 2018, yeah, we watched with my family this lunch, and after 2 minutes we said, what happened? Like they, TV became black color, and they stopped to translation. And then after this, we found out that explosion happened. And then after this, that Nick Hague, a NASA astronaut, and Alexei Ovchinin, a Russian cosmonaut, they survived. That was just, oh
I
my
know, it was like
goodness.
so scary. I know, but
So like this is a playroom, and I want to show this pillow, like looks like astronaut. Do you see that?
uh-huh, uh-huh.
And this one too, like a rocket. So all right, something. Okay. And this is picture my friend painting. If you see this, So this is our house right here,
Okay.
and this is a Houston.
Okay.
This is a NASA,
Oh, wow.
and you can see shuttle right there. See shuttle.
That is awesome. Yeah.
So this is a lot of time of transportation, right? A lot of, yeah.
And there's a
So
plane too, isn't there?
yeah, an airplane and a hot air balloon. So that's how I motivate my children for this. And we have this rocket here. This is little rocket to plane. See? And a moonwalker right here. So that's, and we painting, and Alex and a rocket right there. So that's my daughter paint. So that's our life like this.
Um, yeah, no, that's amazing. And you know, we talk about the 2024 being unlikely to happen on schedule because of politics and technical reasons.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
have you been following SpaceX and their development of Starship?
Yes, I do. I might miss something. Yes, but I do. And SpaceX and the Firefly, and I have Ukrainian Space Agency and Russian Roscosmos. And I follow in a lot of astronauts. So, and try to watch in like conference, video conference, and try to ask some questions. So yes, and what is the next question?
Oh, you know, you just reminded me of something I wanted to ask you about was I don't know anything about Ukrainian rockets.
That okay, I will send you links to read it. Very interesting, because they can lift up a lot of weight. This is very important. Like I told you, it's a 50% to build moon village on the moon and 50% to lift it all with equipment
Hmm.
there.
But I didn't know Ukraine was even investing in
Oh yeah,
developing
yes.
rockets.
They even Soyuz rockets. They before 2014, a lot of Ukrainian parts was in a rocket. I mean, parts of vehicle and some electric control parts with the rockets. And you know, this engineer, rocket engineer, Sergei Korolev,
Hmm.
he's a Ukrainian guy too.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Um, yeah. How is it in Ukraine right now? You know, I know that there was a whole bunch of things in the news about um, some type of friction between Russia and Ukraine and
Yes,
things like this.
unfortunately, it still go on. Unfortunately, so but good things it's stuck in one place and not going to deep Ukraine. So it's just one place in East Ukrainian, just right there. And yeah, and it's still because we change the presidents and because uh, a lot of countries, some support Ukraine, some not, and because of Russia is a huge country, and Ukraine is small. It's a big challenge for Ukrainian dealing with Russia, so or not dealing with Russia. So that's this discussion we can talk weeks
Oh
and
my
never
God.
stop and never stop. Yes, but it's safe. My family right there, and I send children to Ukrainian school. They learn Ukrainian and Russian language, so my children speak in three languages fluently, which is great, I think.
So Ukrainian, English, and what's the third?
Russian.
Russian.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then they're already ready for the space program. You know, like the International Space Station, they were having to learn Russian and
Yes.
English. So,
It's like British astronaut Tim Peake, I believe so. Yes, his name, and he said biggest challenge for him is to learn Russian language.
the rocket was easy, but learning Russian was hard.
Yes, that was difficult for him. Yes.
So do you have an interest in going into space yourself?
I'm not optimistic if they can take me. Of course, why not? If they take me, I will go. I'm brave enough to go. Yes, absolutely. I love it, and it's I'm very motivated.
And would you do like a suborbital flight on, say, one of the Virgin Galactic or Blue Origin New Shepard's flights, or would you go to like the International Space Station, or would you go to the moon, or would you go multiple years to like Mars and back? Like, how far would you go?
All right. Okay. We never know how far we can go, each human, but we have a lot of potential, each of us. We just need to believe for this and want so much. I would try at least go to space station, and it's very important for Ukraine, very important. I would love to fly with Ukrainian flag. We have only one cosmonaut, his name Leonid Kadeniuk, who flew in a shuttle. And because of politics going very bad, because of economy going very bad, a lot of young, smart people, engineers, they go out of country and they stay in somewhere in Europe or America, like me. And because they cannot find it themselves in Ukraine. And I think it's a big deal for Ukraine, and some Ukrainian astronaut from Ukraine roots who's born in Ukraine will go to the space. It's going to be motivate a lot of young people. A lot of, I know my friends who's a professor at university, they invite me to read a lecture. And in the beginning, they seems to be like sleeping. They was tired end of the day. And when I started to speak about space and this, and I pointed to the fact about what kind of Ukraine mission in space and this and that, so they was excited. They was excited. And I told them, don't stop. When you graduate from university, don't stop, educate yourself. Do more stuff. Do second education, do physical exercise, and go to mountains and scuba diving, do this and that. And you can do a cheaper way always. Some students say, oh, I don't have money to do this. And I say, listen, back when I was studying in this university, I didn't have money at all. And I have to find it how to make money, extra money. It's always, but you just need to want to do this.
Yeah, you can only solve the problems you want to solve or that you try to solve.
Right, just don't be lazy, just get up and do it.
Yeah. We need to remember whose problem it is. It's our problem. We got to solve it.
Someday I didn't have money for the bus. And I just came to the bus driver and say, I'm sorry, I don't have any money. And can you please bring me to home? And he said, yes, of course, sit down. So nothing's wrong if you go and ask and try. And sometimes in your life, a lot of times, they close door in front of you.
Yes.
And my philosophy is they close door in front of you, go to window.
But it's better they close the door in front of you than let you into the waiting room and you just sit there all the time.
I know, yes, that's true also. I passed this also.
You know, because that way I need to look for a different option. The other one, you don't realize you're wasting your time.
I know. I have hard time to defend my dissertation, and I have to, from 7 o'clock in the morning, wait in their door. The principal of the university, I have to wait in their door, and sometime, and he see me and he not let me in. So, and then I write to the Kyiv, to capital of Ukraine, to Ministry of Education, bring my dissertation, put on a table, and I said, what's wrong? Why they not let me defend my dissertation, and got my PhD certificate? So, and they like me. I came with Ukrainian costume, I speak Ukrainian language, and they look at my dissertation, they liked a lot, and they find a different professor who is like support me, like who was a roof over me, and who helped me actually to go through, to went through all this bureaucracy system. This was hard.
It is. So that reality TV show that's in the works, the Space Hero, where they plan to do a worldwide contest to find somebody to send to the International Space Station for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a great. It's a great. They will pick up. They will pick up interest and motivate people first, right?
Hmm.
And then we'll look at applications. I mean, they, of course, they will look at for everyone, and education, physicals, and why. The first question: why you want to go? What you can give? What's something new you can give in that space? What you can do? So, and I would, they never, yeah, they took rats, but I believe that rats was for surgery in a space. They not live rats. I thinking about like a project with snails, because snails they stick to the glass.
Mm.
They're not flying. And, just maybe I not don't know something. Maybe it's done before. I have no idea. So far, I did not find information about that. And snails, they have a really good protein for humans. So astronauts, they can eat in the snails.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be good. Escargot, huh?
Um, um,
Um, and so, yeah, whenever you think about humanity 500 years from now, what do you think it looks like?
500 years from now.
Which is basically the same amount of time from now to Christopher Columbus coming to the North America. So it's like,
It can be or too good or too bad. Depend which way we go, humanity go. If we start and concentrate on a save our Mother Earth and use only ecologically and resources, energy resources. If our diplomatics, international diplomatics, will do smart politics agreement and no war, okay, we can do a lot of stuff. We really can do in a Mars civilization, Moon civilization, and but like right now, look at what is going right now. All this war, every day killing people in the war. Look at what happened in Syria and same in Ukraine, and the drugs involved, and young people, they stuck near computer, they're playing zombie, they're not motivated in the future. And we eating synthetic food, and children became sick with all this cancer and this and that. That's terrible. Even we change genetics, they China scientists, they're doing this. They change genetic, and then you genetic code, and then you're born completely clean without any genetic disease.
hmm.
Okay, we can do this, all right. But still, we a child born in this world, synthetic world, and a lot of young mothers, they don't want breastfeeding. They want to give it formula with this palm oil, and that's not right. So, and I'm from Ukraine, and I'm traveling a lot, and I live in here in America, and I can see a lot of good stuff better here in America than in Ukraine, but also at the same time a lot of worse stuff here in America than in Ukraine. For
What,
example,
yeah,
food.
food, okay.
So I'm so happy Ukraine still have this natural food. You can go to your backyard and you pick up this tomato, cucumbers, which you plant and put on a table, which is great. And chicken and milk a cow. And so I think it's great.
And plus, it helps with the knowledge and the awareness. I think there's a lot of people in the US that may have no idea where their food comes from. Like for them, food just magically appears in the supermarket. And the
Oh my
idea
God.
that you have to,
Yes,
plant seeds, water them, harvest them, bring
yes,
them is completely outside their realm of even thinking or knowing about it.
yes. And Ukraine doctors, they know that microbiome, our stomach digestive system, connect with our brain.
Hmm.
So they strongly believe in this, and they give you fermented food rich with enzymes and probiotics. So if they're not crazy about antibiotics like here in US. Here's just doctors prescribe antibiotics, I think, crazy often.
Well, and
Yeah.
there is a deeper problem than antibiotics prescribing, and that is the desire for quick fixes. The
Yes.
desire to
Yeah. Your
to
immune system, yeah, then your immune system not react next time for antibiotics. And what we have right now, this coronavirus, I don't know if it's a natural this virus or creative in a lab. That we still, someday we will find out. But because of humans' immune system very low, that's why we got sick and sensitive for this virus.
yeah, yeah,
How many
that's
people? Yeah, I'm sorry. How many people sit down in a house watching TV and play games and don't go outside and they have a different deficit of vitamin D?
oh exactly. And it's not about having an easy life. It's about being stronger than your challenges. And
Yes.
the problem is as our life has become more and more comfortable, our strength has continued to be just barely enough to meet our needs, you know? And so that if anything happens that makes life suddenly more difficult, we're completely unprepared to deal with it.
Yes, absolutely. And I try to spend my time outside much I can and take my children for outside activity much I can. And when I have been teaching in the university, I won't take student outside to green room because they all day inside in a big building, and then they have to go to the library again is building, then to home again is building.
And a car is like a building on wheels.
A car, it's just for me. It's just crazy. Yeah, here in the US it's crazy. In Ukraine and Europe they walking a lot. So in Austria, Germany, I love the biking.
I
The
know I had to go to Wrocław, Poland for work several times. And I thought it'd be nice to, get a bicycle and kind of go bicycling around. But
Mhm,
I went early in the morning on a weekday,
mhm.
and they take their bicycling very seriously. It was like being on a freeway of bikes.
Yes, and they have all bicycle roads too.
Yes.
So that's also amazing. And you can park your bicycle everywhere. Nobody will stolen that bicycle. So that's also like in Ukraine, you cannot do this. Somebody will stole. Oh my gosh, unfortunately. So I came back to my office to charge the phone. Okay, I'm here.
Well, I really appreciate your time. Is there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to?
Um, uh, I just want to say thank you for your friendship. Thank you to being interested about space, and thank you to bring a lot of young people to same road where you are. Thank you so much. And that's amazing. Like you do all these meetings every Saturday. I'm sorry I cannot make it because every Saturday, a lot of activities. But I hope one day I can make it to your meeting, and I think it's wonderful. Thank you. And I know you don't have any pay for this. You do like a volunteer. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time, for your interest in, and thank you that you put the seeds to the young people and maybe someday they grow on a plant, and go to space.
I hope you're right, and I really appreciate you saying that. It's nice to find other people that are also can understand kind of how I feel about space, because to a lot of people it's kind of a mystery about why are you so interested in space, like this.
I
But
know. I flying a lot on airplane. I speaking with people. Yeah, a lot of people just don't know about this stuff.
exactly, and to your point about getting out of the building and actually doing physical things. We were thinking about doing like a high altitude balloon project, actually try to get a balloon that goes like 100,000 feet in the air and have some payload and stuff, take some pictures. So I think
Hot air balloon.
I mean, it'd be a helium balloon,
Oh,
a weather
helium balloon.
balloon. Yeah.
Okay, heli. Okay, helium balloon. All right. And now, same project Ukraine scientists do every time.
Yeah, and also yesterday I was with my nephew and we put together some of those model rockets and shot them up. So I was thinking we should probably, do some of that on a regular basis to get people actually hands-on doing something instead of just sitting down and watching a speaker. So I need to figure out some other activities because, you know, uh, sitting down in a room with other people doesn't quite have the same learning experience as actually building
When you
something
do
from
in
start.
practically, yeah, when you do practically something, it's much better. Absolutely, not theoretically, practically, right?
Practical, or even anything, even if it's not so much practical, but if it's hands-on, like you have to get the full body engaged in the experience.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. I'm agree with you, and also involve exercise, physical exercise for the training your we call it vestibular apparatus. Sorry, that's just difficult word for me telling in English. When you're not dizzy, when you swallow out and you're not dizzy, how you calling this?
When you're not dizzy,
Yeah, you training your body for the be more strong when you swirling around. How
yeah,
this?
yeah, I don't know actually. That's
Okay. So I have special equipment, but they in Ukraine, not here. So you stay in with this, how you say, plate, okay? And this is plate make you move around yourself. So, and how long you can do? First, you can do just 10 seconds, and then you're dizzy. Then you practice every day more and more. You can do several minutes, and then you can do even 20 or 30 minutes and not
hmm.
become dizzy. So that's how you training your body for the against motion sickness.
You learn to ignore the signals you're getting from your inner ear and from your eyes, and then just
Uh-huh.
kind of learn
Yes.
to isolate yourself from this input.
Yes.
It's it's like, I guess, being in a situation where there's lots of noise around you, and you learn how to like tune it out so that you can focus. But
And
you're
this
doing it
too.
with a different sense. You're doing it
And
with your
also good point, go to sailing. Go to sailing.
oh yeah, sailing,
When the boat on
exactly.
our waves,
Uh-huh.
yes, that's also.
And learning at the same token while you're feeling seasick to maintain your balance,
Yeah.
and so you don't fall
Maintain.
off. So it's like developing a better, yeah, exactly, how to integrate
You
all this.
remember when we sailing with cosmonaut Alexei Chinin? You
Yeah,
remember?
exactly. I
Yeah.
do. That it was a really nice day. I have dreams of sailing around the world at some point, but I probably need to take longer trips before that.
You know, dreams just came from your brain. It's something what you thought about or read about or so. So that's a good point to thinking about again. Yes. So thank you so much again to invite me for interview.
Well, thank you too. And I look forward to staying in touch. And yeah, if there's anybody else that's willing to do an interview, please let me know. I have like 1,500 and
Okay.
so many days to go.
I actually sent links to Ukrainian people who's work in Ukraine Space Agency, but main problem is the language. So maybe they can have some interpreter with them and they
That would
translate.
be awesome. Yeah.
So that's
I
why. Mm,
I've been having that trouble with some people, Spanish speakers. It's like, hey,
yes,
I like to interview you. They're like, oh, my English not so good.
okay.
It's like I
Right.
need a translator, and then I could get some more perspectives.
Yes, I know what you mean. Sorry for my poor English vocabulary. I try much I can.
It's awesome.
Mm,
It works.
all right, thank you.
Well, you have a good rest of your day, and thank you so
Mm,
much.
all right, so welcome and thank you for you. Bye.
Bye bye.